All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be part two with the PCM and instrument cluster from Michael from Louisiana. Michael, this is your setup. I got your key, your instrument cluster, and your computer connected, and it's actually running. All right, so well, after the repair of your instrument cluster, which I clean up, it's looking like brand new, and now we got the mileage. I end up needed to not just resolder the entire board, but also replacing the memory, which is also the one in charge for the SPC communication, which is at the end with the one establish the communication between the computer and the instrument cluster. So that was definitely a problem, and that will prevent the car from starting. As you see, we got no anti-theft light. Let me turn this other light off because I think it's just doing a reflection. So it's running. I have, as you see, I can see even the injection in here. Disregard about the milliseconds because this is just starting. So what I want to do is I'm going to power off. I'm going to leave that on because that's kind of like almost like cranking. So as you see, we're no longer having injection, and we will see that here too because these are the emulators for the coils and the injectors. I'm going to show you that in a second. What I want to see is make sure that the computer runs immediately. So like you're cranking and the car starts because that's a common failure on these computers. All right, so here we go. All right, I can see RPM. I don't like the hump that happens just the first start. You see it's happening in there. Hopefully you guys can see it in there, kind of like the needle bouncing up and down. That's a normal failure of the analog to digital converter. I think, Michael, that I have your computer in here. I would think that it would be wise to completely refurbish your computer as well, so you know that you have a complete good setup for a very long time. I do a completely remanufacture, so capacitors, diodes, analog to digital converter, memory, etc. And most of the drivers, the common drivers that fail, obviously it's impossible to replace everything because obviously otherwise that would be a very expensive repair and not necessary because a lot of these components they are there they will never fail like the injector drivers or so they're for a very long time 30-40 years and that's not the case. All right, so but I don't like that hump. Let me now do a test in high RPMs. This is something that I can only do here. So what I do with this is I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to change the signal from 51 to 7. This is the signal that I need to go on high RPM. So I'm going to go into like 1400 or so. I'm going to leave it in there, even 1,000. Let me get it down to like 1,000 RPM. The computer is off, so I can change this without having any issues. So that's right there in 1,000 RPMs. And I'm going to turn this on, and we can see 1,000 RPMs. We can see the yellow lights are the coils, and the green ones in there are the injectors, so all is firing. And we can see the firing of the injectors in there, and it's happening after cranking. You see how nice and steady now your RPMs are? This is where the signal for the analog to digital converter internally in the computer is too weak at a start, and that can also prevent your vehicle from running. I don't see any problems in the computer as far as memory or nothing, so it's running. So let me raise up the RPMs. I'm going to go over to like 2000 or so, and we can see how now it's going in there. We can see more of injection, and we can see now like the coils are almost like steady just because it's a faster RPM. But injectors, everything is there. So no problems, no glitches. So all that is good. The next thing that I want to do is let me stop the video 1 second and connect the scanner to make sure that we have communication, right? I turn everything off and I change the signal to the lower RPM signal. We're going to I'm going to try to connect the scanner. Okay, the BCDI or MDCI is connected, so let's make sure that we can read. Oh, well, I have to turn the computer on, right? That will be very important. For that, now I don't have any RPM signal going on yet. I just want to connect to the scanner and make sure that we can read your bean. Bean number should end in A4740, CA4740. So CA4740, perfect. So we do have communication, not a problem. So in here, we're going to go into quick access. This is just the normal procedures of the computer itself. I'm going to now put 500 RPMs. It takes a little time, and I don't like the hump. That's the only thing that I'm a little hesitant to call it good because it is not working as I'm very used to this. All right, so we're going to go to unknown fuel just because I can select that. It's not really what we're looking for to do is just to communicate. So let's go over to the PCM first, which is your concern and my concern as well. Now we know that we do have communication. By the way, you have 148, 890.5 miles. That is your instrument cluster. All right, so let's read the full codes, read the constant memory, and see what we see there. Okay, it's asking me about a lot of transmission. Tire size. I don't think I have the transmission. I'm going to select just the one. Integer, master flow sensor. The others are not connected, so all that is looking normal. Yeah, that is all looking normal. Yep, definitely all those codes are just because we are not having, but I don't have any memory fault, which is also a big problem. All right, so we're going to go into read data. Make sure that we can indeed read data. In the meantime, I have the computer running. I don't like to keep it running for too long, even though I have this one. The case itself is a heat dissipating, um, I don't know, very important part of the computer, right? All right, so we're going to put battery voltage and engine RPM. That's all I really want to see. Engine revolutions per minute. Yep, battery voltage is showing 12.5, even though I'm in 13 point something, so a little low on the voltage. So let me raise that voltage one volt. So I'm in 14 point something. So we are now in 13.5, and that actually make a difference. So it was a little, not really too low, but this is a healthy voltage. The computer will like that because it knows that the alternator is charging and all that too. So let's restart the computer again. All right, so you see, I kept that signal. That is my cranking signal. That is not really that important for anything else. I don't know why the Max is Phoenix Max loses the communication every time I turn the ignition off because I have not disconnected the MDCI by any chance, but it's doing that. So disregard there too. All right, so we're going to start this. Okay, I am liking what I'm seeing. So it seems that we have low voltage on the module, and that was creating the hump. You see, no longer a hump. And that's what I like to, connect to the scanner and see the values. Those are very important. If I can talk to the scanner and I see that I'm in 12.6, the computer will see, oh, well, I am running and I'm only in 12.6 or 12.5. My alternator is not charging. So I might put, a signal trying to look for that alternator to respond properly. Because right now your RPMs are perfect. All right, so that is a very good result. So I'm going to now we know that we have communication with the computer. That is not an issue. So I'm going to reestablish the communication, keep the computer running as it is, and I want to now talk to the instrument cluster. All right, so we're going to just select the same thing. This is we're going to go into the instrument cluster. Make sure that everything is agreeing in all the paths system. Let me read the fault code, retrieve the constant memory faults. Now you see the instrument cluster went into diagnostic mode. So fuel sender, invalid engine coolant temperature, that's fine. Vehicle security data, invalid missing. Paths, transceiver failure. Okay, so this is in the memory of the instrument cluster. uh, SCP data link fault. So I'm going to show you this, Michael, because this is very important. If you have this in the vehicle and it keeps happening, we might have a problem on the actual transceiver, which is on the key. This is like that little piece in here where I have that's like a coil to receive the signal from the actual cluster. So let me clear the fault codes to make sure that we only have, like a coolant temperature not received because it's not connected. But the rest of the stuff should go away. All right. Yes. Okay, so that is good. So, but I'm glad that I show you those because definitely with the problem that we have in the cluster and not reading the mileage, this cluster was creating all those faults. You see how now immediately reads the RPMs and they're like, I mean, right in the money, 500 RPMs, which is exactly what I'm providing. No problems at all. All right, so let's go back to the actual data where I want to just retrieve the information. And here all I want to do is master key present, how many keys are stored. Let me just see in here. Sometimes I select the wrong one because depends on the vehicle. Vehicle enabled status. We know that we have an authorization to start. Obviously, we have coils and injectors, otherwise they will not run. And you can have RPM because that's a crank sensor signal, but if the pads is not active or not working properly, you will have the flashing light or steady light in there and no injector or coils activation. And that's why I want to connect everything and show this on this setup. All right, so let me just see. PCM verification. I don't think we need to see anything else. I think that's it. Secure time close. Let me see what we see here. Okay, so yes, we have the master key present, numbers of key stores 2. The PCM verification is okay, yes. That means that computer is fine. Vehicle enable status, enable. Michael, as this way, the way the computer is running now, I have to just tell you that everything is good. I don't see a problem. I think that all your problem was right here, and I'm glad that you follow my recommendations and we have a good ending because this could have really go really south and make you spend a lot of money in somebody else's hands. I always try to share all this information to my customers and to tell other people, yes, I am know what I'm doing. I'm an expert when it comes to this, especially in these computers. I have repaired countless. I would probably say more than 400, 500 of them. All right, so let me turn the ignition on, oh, sorry, off again, keeping that signal as I am been doing. And we're going to turn this on again one more time to see that RPM signal steadily stay at 500. And it is. So I don't see any problems, Michael. I'm going to stop the video here. Guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Michael, thank you so much for trusting Mike Salazar Diagnostics. Again, if you have any computer that you need to send for repairs, don't hesitate. Just look for Mike, and that's how my name is spelled, MAIC, salazardiagnostics.com. This is the page. You have my shipping address in here, and this is a button that you can click, and this will open your Outlook. If you don't use any Outlook or Microsoft emails, it doesn't really need to be an email. You can create your own account and then just use your regular Yahoo, Gmail, or any account that you want to have. You can also use this button right here, the Let's Chat. You can send me some information. Also, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you have my email in here, my telephone number, and the shipping address as well. All right, guys? I hope that you like this content. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.